General Kayanja Mhanga inspects Boka airfield captured by ADF by joint forces. EU-African Union summit kicks off in Brussels. This and more stories coming up in UBC News Tonight. Let's take a look at our top stories of the day.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
UBC News Tonight, General Kayanja Mhanga inspects Boga airfield captured from ADF by joint forces. EU-African Union summit kicks off in Brussels. And still to come in UBC News Tonight, stakeholders want Trademark Act amended. While in more stories, 6 African countries to start manufacturing vaccines.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
It is the 18th of February 2022. It is Friday. Thank you so much for being a part of UBC News Tonight today at 10 p.m. Just 1 minute to 10 p.m. actually. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. In our top stories of the day, President Joffrey Doku has reiterated his commitment to support the development and humanitarian efforts of the Orthodox Church in Uganda. The president was meeting a 22-member delegation of Uganda Orthodox Church at State House in Entebbe, where he welcomed His Eminence Metropolitan Jeronios Muzeyi, the new Archbishop of the Metropolis of Kampala. Metropolitan Muzeyi was recently appointed to replace the late Metropolitan John Alwanga, who passed away in September 2021.
Your Excellency, today I have the joy, on behalf of our Pope and Patriarch, to present to you the new Metropolitan of Kampala and all Uganda, His Eminence Hieronymus Muzeyi.
I'm therefore grateful to be introduced to you again, Your Excellency, because I know and I am sure I'm going to receive your full support. We commit to support and work with you and your government to improve the quality of life of all Ugandans and to support you in all your development programs for the betterment of our Uganda as a country. Your Excellency, we shall continue to pray for your good health and long life so that as a country we continue to reap the fruits of your good leadership. With prayers, the new Metropolitan of Kampala, Jeronimus Muzeyi.
Very happy to meet you, and definitely we shall support you. On the schools, Honorable Sichkubo knows that our government-supported schools are geographic specific. We have one government primary school per parish. Then we have one government secondary school per sub-county. And then we have one technical school or vocational school per constituency. So the 7 education institutions must fit in that. If the school is in an area where there's no secondary school, that would be a good where there's no government secondary school in the sub-county, then we take it over and add on, and it becomes a government secondary school of what they call the foundation body, the Eatandika. So when we form the management group, what they call board of governors, we mix government and the foundation body.
Holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Our Menya, the Secretary General, who are joining this afternoon. The chairperson thought very well that since we've been coming here, we never brought you to your consideration that the author, my father to bless me to give Mr. Nicholas Katamba, the chairperson.
As
Well, that was President Yoweri Museveni pledging support to the new Orthodox Metropolitan Mosque. Congratulations once again. Moving on from that, women leaders from different religious groups in the country have committed to join the national campaign to mobilize the communities against the vices of defilement, child marriages, teenage pregnancies, and to promote positive parenting. Now, the Protect the Girl, Save the Nation campaign, which was launched in December 2021, is intended to create a social movement that engages the entire society against defilement, child marriages, and teenage pregnancies. Details follow.
The women leaders made these commitments during a stakeholders meeting convened by the champion of the Protect the Girl, Save the Nation campaign, First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni. The meeting took place at State House in Tebe.
We want to hear from you on how you think we can partner together in mobilizing the country against the vices of defilement of our children and the early marriages and the teenage pregnancies, and how we can promote responsible parenthood.
Representatives of women leaders from the Mothers Union, Catholic Women Guild, Muslim Mothers Network, the National Fellowship of Born-Again Pentecostal Churches, and the Inter-Religious Council pledged to use the existing structures in their respective jurisdictions to support this campaign.
The current projections indicate that if COVID-19 continues and there is no meaningful restraint measures, an additional 13 million child marriages and 7 million unattended pregnancies will take place globally, including Uganda, between 2020 to 2030.
It is our view that in this campaign, parents and guardians have a role to play in the following ways. One is creating awareness to these young people or sensitizing them.
The proposed interventions include massive sensitization to create awareness, creating safe spaces for the children to share experiences, sexuality education, raising the children in a religious way, emphasizing values and praying for the children and families, among others. Mrs. Janet Museveni said that the battle against defilement, child marriages, and teenage pregnancies is not just for the government alone, but it belongs to all the families of Uganda, especially the mothers who are the custodians of the families.
It can have a dramatic impact, but the home is still the formative influence. The responsibility to inculcate the right values in our children lies with the family, therefore.
She emphasized that restoration of the family institution should be key on the agenda of this campaign. Citing the story of Eli in the Bible, Mrs. Janet Museveni said that God blames parents who do nothing whenever their children behave in ways that are shameful.
This man had children, and he was heading God's people in the country of Israel. His children behaved badly towards people and God blamed Eli.
The Vice President of Uganda, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, emphasized the need for collective responsibility in this campaign to fight the vices which, she said, have impacted on the health of the young girls, disrupted their education, and has become a vicious cycle that contributes to poverty and impacts on the economy of the country.
Challenges of these issues becoming a vicious circle. When one girl is pregnant in this village today, if we don't check it, another village will have a similar case, and then if it is not checked, another village, then it becomes household, and it becomes a vicious circle.
Other speakers included the State Minister for Northern Uganda, Grace Kwichwiny, State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Sarah Mateke, UNICEF's representative, Dr. Monil Safeldin, and UNFPA's representative, Dr. Mary Otieno. They concurred that government should grow a database for adolescent girls who have been affected by child marriages, pregnancy, sexual exploitation, and such vices to ease planning for their assistance.
Recently, I had a case where one boy of 13 years impregnated 3 young girls. And when they reported the case, the parents of the boy said, no, we accept these are our children, and we are ready to marry off the 3 girls.
The religious women leaders advocated for the boy child not to be left out in the campaign. They called for the rule of law to reign so that all culprits of the vices are duly apprehended. This story was compiled by Prosi Basangwa.
The Prime Minister, Robinah Banja, has faulted district leaders in Bukedi sub-region over failure to adequately prepare communities for parish development model. Now, the Premier, who is currently in the sub-region, says most districts have not put in place the requirements needed for effective implementation of parish development model. The Prime Minister has now directed all districts to fix the gaps before the launch of the program on Saturday next week by President Yoweri Museveni in Kiboko district.
The Prime Minister, Robinah Banja, has continued with her mobilization meetings regarding parish development model in Budaka, Butevo, Palisa and Chibuku, all in Bukedi sub-region. She expressed disappointment to some of the leaders for failing to prepare the communities for the new government-led development initiative.
I have discovered that some districts like Tororo are ready, but these other districts are not yet ready, depending on the questions you have seen me ask. And I think these are genuine people and they are genuine leaders. So they are telling us what is happening. So like in Budaka, you can see they are just starting to train the parish circles. Then in Busia, they did not even have parish chiefs. In Butaneja, they had the parish chiefs who don't know what to do. So today we sent their leaders and they are training them. So we are trying to make sure that we negate through. When the president comes here, everything will be ready.
The Premier also clarified on the eligibility and targeted beneficiaries that was being contradictory by the district leaders.
Teachers are not eligible. This money is basically for the poor. Okay? It is basically for the poor. And therefore, the teachers, the leaders, they should live for the local poor. A leader may be poor also and he qualifies, but you cannot really serve yourself. This is what was making them. Now, we are saying let us serve the local poor. The person who is the president calls the one who is, who is working, who is having money hand to mouth. You understand what I mean? hand to mouth that person.
She has now given the leaders in the district 1 week to employ parish chiefs, form circles and mobilize the communities for the development model before the official launch of the parish development model by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Saturday next week.
What should be done is to make sure that the parish chiefs now can help us to get the data of those people, the baseline survey that we are conducting right now. After that, the training should be ongoing and vigorously until when we come back next week on Saturday. Then we are saying the parish circles should be formulated quickly in those areas where they are not. Like here, the circles are not here. You understood? So the circles are not here, and yet these are the circles that are going to handle money. They have different views. Some are saying they should be 30 people. No. A circle in a parish should be for all. But of course, people should be divided into groups. But somebody will get the money as an individual. We are targeting an individual home, not a group.
The Prime Minister was in the company of several ministers, including that of Agriculture and Animal Industries, Frank Tumwebaze. For local government, Raphael Magezi. For gender, labor and social development, Betty Amongi. For science and technology, Monica Musenero. For presidency, Millie Babalanda. And for trade and industries, Harriet Ntawazi. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Budaka.
Moving on from that, court has said the 21st of March 2022 for mention of the case where city pastor Aloysius Bujingo and Susan Namakula Nantaba are facing 3 counts of contracting avoid marriage. Prosecution led by counsel Timothy Emeriti informed court that inquiries are still ongoing, thus requesting court for more time, which court granted.
A city pastor Aloysius Bujingo and his lover Susan Namakula Nantaba have appeared at Entebbe Grade 1 Magistrates Court for hearing of the case against them that were facing charges of contracting a void marriage. Prosecution led by Timothy Emeriti informed court that inquiries are still ongoing, thus requesting court for more time, which prayer was not objected by the defense lawyer. Robert Utala Twaire, one of the complainants, before the Director of Public Prosecution took over the case, was presented by counsel Nahabwe Precious.
It's hoped that by that time the state will have concluded investigations and then hearing of the matter can kick off. Madam Teddy Naruswa, who is a fellow complainant, was absent, but her lawyer was present in court.
Pastor Aloysius Bujingo and Susan Namakula Nantaba are alleged to have committed these offences on 7th December 2021 at Mr. Nyombi Tembo's home in Entebbe Wakiso district. The said offences against the accused are contrary to Section 50, 42, 153 of the Marriage Act Cap 251, and they carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Meanwhile, the hearing of the case at Anti-Corruption Court, where Dodo V. Komanja and 5 others allegedly accused of participating in the demolition of St. Peter's Church in Deba in 2020 flops. This followed the absence of the presiding magistrate in this matter, Achio Joan. Court resumed on 27th April 2021 to kick off with the hearing of the matter. Lawyers representing the accused decried the prolonged delay for court to start the hearing of the matter for now 1 year.
On so many occasions, they kept on telling us we are still investigating, witnesses will not be there. It has certainly affected our clients because, you know, when someone still has cases before court, may not concentrate on other things. There are those accused persons who are public servants, they are on interdiction, they are not working, and I believe even their families are suffering. It is quite a big loss to them. It puts them in a very difficult situation, but we hope that when the hearing starts, we shall be able to conclude this matter.
Prosecution alleges Dodo V. Komanja and others still at large conspired to demolish St. Peter's Church of Uganda and Deba, the property of Church of Uganda.
Naye mu mbeera ya bulijjo kyaki tebiba bizimbe kyaki baba bantu abali mu kanisa. N'olwekyo kyaki weetuli nga kyaki kubanga abantu mwe bali mu kanisa. N'olwekyo kyaki tutambula.
Ebizimbe tebiriiwo bano tutera na bayitaffe batemu abatemu babimenya babisangulawo twabizimbira ebbanga ddene naye bajja ne babimenya.
Dodo Viko Manja is charged with other 5 accused persons, including police officers and KCCA physical planner Ivan Katongole. St. Peter's Church of Uganda Ndeba was demolished on 11th August 2020 on the orders of Dodo Viko Manja, Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Deborah Namamonde Nantongo, for keeping us updated on cases in regards to court. Now, the Secretary General National Resistance Movement, Richard Twadong, has cautioned party members against going against the party constitution and structures. He was speaking during an NRM parliamentary flag bearers outside Parliament at Chadondo, Kampala. Katamba has a detailed report on this story.
The NRM Secretary General Richard Twadong has warned party members against forming splinter groups and issuing statements outside the party rules. According to Twadong, members who recently made statements against constitutional amendment did not follow the elaborate structures and the party constitution.
The resolutions of NEC are binding to the party members. When we call on the delegates conference, whatever the delegates conference decides become the policy decision of the party. So there are structures. At the district level, we have district conferences and the DEC. So these members who are moving around and in hotels and calling for meetings and issuing statements for constitutional amendments, proposals, we wonder why they are panicking and what makes them panic.
Richard Twadongo says all party members who cannot obey the party constitution will be handled accordingly.
So whoever is involved in such, we warn you that you better stop such behaviors. If your actions are geared towards antagonizing the organization, definitely the party leadership will take steps and give you free exit from the party.
The chairman NRM parliamentary flag bearers outside Parliament, Julius Vigirwa, asked the party to support members who still in courts of law for appeals.
We have identified those areas, they are available. We have identified areas of placement, they just need some little support. We don't need to appear selfish or sectarian. But now, when I was studying sociology, human brain naturally is selfish, you can't avoid it. So we are happy to see these members of ourselves getting these placements.
Meanwhile, the chairperson Uganda Women Council, Ajafraida Chibowa, asked the women leadership to continue supporting women emancipation and take leadership positions.
The need is to support those women in those key leadership positions. But we've got also a challenge where women have a tendency of fighting other women instead of supporting them. Because when a woman is elected or appointed in a position, they first say that and the infight. Some women fight. You know how women are created. Sometimes they fight for nothing. But even in those offices, for us, we only need to encourage them not to fight each other.
Robert Katamba, UBC News.
The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council wants to amend its constitution that was last amended in 1972. Articles to be amended include those concerning women involvement in leadership positions and religion, and how to handle conflicts, among others.
Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is planning to amend its constitution. An official from the Supreme Council, Sharon Kyomugisha, says the main reason for amending their constitution is to address emerging issues not catered for in the old constitution.
That we can have a constitution which can match with the growing changes economically, socially, religiously, and politically, in that the Muslim community can live comfortably in our country. But one of the reasons for the amendment of this constitution is to provide for mechanisms, internal conflict resolution mechanisms that could help in mitigating and handling simple conflicts that will always arise intra-religiously.
Sheikh Kyomugisha says the commission will be in charge of gathering data needed to amend the constitution.
At Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, with a cardinal role of canvassing the whole country to collect views.
The Secretary for Women and Youth Affairs at the Uganda Muslim Scrim Council, Radia Kamisa Namakula, says the Muslim community have been divided into 9 regions to make the process of data collection easier.
Only the 9 regions by name. We have East Buganda Muslim region, West Buganda Muslim region, Busoga, Eastern, Northern, West Nile, Bunyolotoro, Ankole Kigezi, and Kampala Muslim regions.
The Minister of State for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga Bakulu, says government supports the move by the Muslim community to amend their constitution to address emerging issues.
So inform the whole country that government is aware of this process, and therefore all stakeholders should accord them all the necessary assistance whenever they reach their jurisdiction.
An independent constitutional review commission was inaugurated on the 17th January 2022 to handle the stages needed during the exercise of amending the Muslim faith constitution.
The International Crane Foundation has distributed beans and Irish potato seeds to communities around Rushebeya Kanyabaha wetland to help them conserve the crested crane. The regional manager, International Crane Foundation, Dr. Adalbert Ainom-Chunguzi, says that the donation is aimed at motivating the communities to conserve breeding sites for the crested cranes.
Rushebeya Kanyabaha wetland in Rukega district is one of the biggest conservation areas for crested cranes. The International Crane Foundation, a non-government organization that aims at conserving the cranes and the ecosystem, has given about 9,000 kilograms seeds of Irish potatoes and over 2,000 kilograms of climbing beans to communities in the surrounding area. According to the East African Regional Manager for International Crane Foundation, the organization is aimed at motivating the community and supporting government in conserving wetlands and breeding sites for crested cranes.
If nothing is done, very soon we shall lose it. What we call going into extinction. And we don't want to reach that status. That's why the International Crane Foundation and our partners are working together with the communities to ensure that we eliminate threats to cranes.
While handing over the seeds to the beneficiaries at Cherero Playgrounds in Bukinda Sub-County, Rukega District, the RDC, Pulikeria Muhindo Mwene, asked the beneficiaries to use the seeds to also increase their household income.
I am hopeful with this time nituweza kuganyirwa.
Ntukora nkabanya Rukiga, nkabanya Kigezi, nkabanya Uganda.
Now, the District Agricultural Officer, Lira District, Dorcas Alum, has asked stakeholders in the farming sector to address mindset change issues for better livelihoods. This was during Farmers Field Day organized by Sasekawa Africa Association in Ogur Sub-County, Lira District.
The Program Officer, Nutrition Sensitive Agriculture in Sasakawa Africa Association, Engineer Fred Musasizi, says locally fabricated agro-machinery is improving post-harvesting and employment among the youth.
So what we are trying to do is to take these simple technologies to the farmers. Some of them, as I said, have been adapted. Some of them are imported, and we do a little bit of adaptation to make them suitable for our environment.
But Lira District Agriculture Officer Dorcas Alum says issues of mindset change and drastic weather changes have affected greatly agriculture production in the region.
The productivity is always very low when there is a dry spell. When the weather is not fine, the production will not be fine. But even when they are produced, the market challenge is one. The farmers are not organized.
The country director, Sasakawa Africa Association, Dr. Roslyn Nyamotali, says her organization has offered extension services to many households in the region and expects them to be exemplary in food security and improved incomes.
So as we look on farming as a business, let us focus on quantity and quality. And with the quality starts from the seed that you are going to plant. Then follows the management. You have to do timely weeding, you have to do timely disease control and pest, and then of course timely harvesting and proper drying.
The Program Officer Agribusiness Development at Sasakawa Africa Association, Ande Okirol, says Ugandan farmers are blessed with abundant market but will not benefit from it if they do not improve the quantity and quality of produce.
Let's learn to do farming as a business and let's stop producing 1-2 bags and we think we are doing business. And I'm telling you, you will not alone, even in Oguru, even in Uganda, we can't satisfy the current market for soya. Forget, for the next 3, 4, 5 years, soya and coffee are endless. And that's where Uganda is going to make money.
Sasakawa Africa Association is one of the non-state actors partnering with the Office of the Prime Minister under the Development Initiative for Northern Uganda project. I'm Navka Farida and Setumba Douglas.
UBC News Tonight will take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories in business, international news and sports news.
Your MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
National Medical Stores is a government agency mandated to buy, store and distribute medicines and medical supplies to government health facilities in Uganda. For Ugandans that we serve, help us serve you better by taking your individual responsibilities seriously. Report theft of government medicines and medical supplies to the nearest police station or to the State House Health Monitoring Unit. Do not pay for any medicines or medical supplies labeled Government of Uganda, not for sale. Do all that is within your means to stop all preventable diseases, including COVID-19. Continue observing the Ministry of Health Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs, including wearing a face mask whenever you are in public spaces. Visit a designated health facility to receive your COVID-19 vaccination and a booster dose for those that are eligible. Prevention is better than cure. National Medical Stores, passionate about your life.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
raising voices.
As a community member, I think we need to change in the way we act in response to violence against children. In my small way, I can be a leader in preventing violence in my community. I promise to work with my neighbor to create violence-free homes and communities for our children.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Your MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
COVID-19 is still here with us. As Owechtiwa Peter Maiga, the Prime Minister of Buganda, states, let us all take the necessary precautions.
Self-medication is always very dangerous. We should leave medical matters to the medical personnel. It's only a healthy population that can produce wealth. And if you want to work for your well-being, you must care about your health first.
Because of the new COVID-19 circulating variants like Omicron, it is very important for all of us to be fully vaccinated with 2 doses of the same vaccine type. It's only those getting Johnson & Johnson who receive only a single dose to be fully protected.
Even after vaccination, continue to adhere to all SOPs by wearing a mask properly, covering your mouth and nose, washing your hands regularly with soap and clean water or using an alcohol-based sanitizer, maintaining physical distance of at least 2 meters from others and avoiding crowds. Echa COVID-19, chija kugwa. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and partners.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It is just 25 minutes to 11 p.m. Thank you so much for still keeping it on UBC TV, inspiring Ugandan, for watching UBC News tonight. Today on the 18th of February 2022 with me, Sharon Kyomugisha and Mugadu Mohammed on sign language. Moving on in more stories, Arua City woman member of parliament, Maureen Osoro, together with other legislators, have joined the constituents to rehabilitate the dilapidated temporary bridges in Arua neighboring districts. This follows an increase in road accidents in the city caused by the broken bridges and potholes across all the city roads.
It is a big challenge for school-going children who cross a broken bridge on River Enyau and Uwoko River at Moni in Arua City as they go to school.
There are some of our children who actually go to Ndoporaka Primary School, and some of people from the other side of Pajul also were students of Jacob Primary School. At times when it rains, so when it overflows, they don't come to the school.
The poor condition of the bridges even becomes more worrying during flooding, which sometimes makes the bridges inaccessible. The bad roads and broken bridges are mainly in Ayivo division and in the central business area, with the city struggling to meet its city status on the minimal budget.
It is also difficult when our women here, they are, let me say, pregnant like that, taking them to the health center. It is a problem because this is the road.
So vehicles, they don't pass here. So it has affected us much economically.
Members of Parliament, together with the locals, have teamed up to work on the broken bridges and fill the potholes on most key roads in the city. The initiative was led by the woman member of Parliament for Arua City, Maureen Osoro, and other leaders.
When we were campaigning, those are one of the concerns people raised to us, that they cannot cross. Their bridges are torn apart due to volume of water that comes whenever it rains. It keeps sweeping off the bridge. I went to the dam where a river ward had a similar issue of bridge being worn apart by water, and actually worked on it. We decided to put for them something temporary there to help them. The logs, we bought about 6 logs to help them with. And then this one, the Alizo, is in Anyara ward. So Alizo has a problem, does not need logs, but it needs the intervention of the government, because this road, this bridge was not planned for.
A warning call has been issued to drivers to desist from using broken bridges, especially River Enyao, until they are worked on.
But vehicles that still risk to pass there do show at their own disadvantage. People whose facilities are the other side to be rented out and so on cannot be accessed. Now they have lost market, but in the meantime, let us just tolerate. Overall, our road conditions are not so good, but we now have secured these funds from Uganda Road Fund.
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Odama.
Over 100 species of trees face extinction after a heavy downpour coupled with thunderstorms ravaged Entebbe Botanical Garden, destroying the preserved traditional species that have lived for hundreds of years. This was during an overnight downpour that also destroyed many other things in the peninsula.
For the last 100 years.
Reports indicate that the Entebbe Botanical Gardens were established in 1898 with over 1,000 tree species as conservation area by the British government. But most of these are now no more after a heavy downpour that caused a devastating damage in the area. Eyewitness narration confirms the devastation, which has happened twice in 2 days and has also led to loss of other property.
We are so sad that we have lost most trees, but we are also going to do our best to see that we plant again more trees, because this was a happening which we didn't expect.
Joyce Odokorach, a researcher with Plant Genetic Resources Center, says several indigenous trees have been affected.
Like I said, this was actually a natural forest, so some of these trees are indigenous to this, to the country. Look at this Mosanga sacropoides, umbrella tree. It is an indigenous tree species, very huge. It has come down like a giant. We have lost it. When we get to the forest, all the forest is down. It was actually a section of the garden that was intact with with all the indigenous tree species in there. But what the tsunami has done, disaster.
Entebbe Botanical Garden is on 40 hectares, stretching over a kilometer along the scenic shores of Lake Victoria.
Yeah, of course, as the Plant Genetic Resources Center, we already have in plan where we've always done the regeneration of the old and dying species. We have a nursery where we do the regeneration to replace those tree species that are dying.
The garden also acts as a field gene bank to most plant species throughout Uganda and East Africa, and is home to many birds and animals.
Now, the role of good image and all students is in improving the stock at their former schools has been underlined at Mutunyera High School and Cheizoba Girls Secondary School in Western Uganda. We have a report with Colin Kadum.
After the long COVID-19 lockdown, many approached a reopening of education institutions with pessimism. But as explained by Mutuyera High School head teacher Joseph Muganga, thorough attention on key issues has registered successes.
Senior 1, 2018, we had 21, we now have 168. Senior 4s that were originally 22, they are now 70. It's a question of building the public image and meeting the expectations of our stakeholders, especially the students and the parents. And the teachers are out to mobilize, to say that they are doing the right thing, and it is possible. It is possible. Just look at discipline, look at academics, meet the expectations.
Institutions like Cheizoba Girls in Bushenye district have over the years played a big role of educating the girl child, whom they now urge to reciprocate and motivate the current crop.
Show them what you have become because of Cheizoba. Support some of the infrastructure. Yeah, you can do it. And even without supporting the infrastructure, just the moral encouragement to your younger sisters that are still in Cheizoba would do a lot. So come OGs and support your school.
Machindia Grade 1 Magistrates Court has charged and remanded one Doku Joffrey on 2 counts of murdering Roland Akaturinde and Patrick Tuliasingura in Kaboa in Wakiso district. Since the court did not have jurisdiction to handle this matter, Doku Joffrey was remanded until the 3rd of March 2022 for mention of the case. Now, the deceased were retrieved from a septic tank at businessman home, Charles Tumwini.
A resident of Nsambia working as a security guard has appeared at Machindia Grade 1 Magistrates Court before Magistrate Anne Basemera for plea taking. Court charged Joffrey Doku with 2 counts of murdering Roland Atulinde and Patrick Tuliasingura in Kabowe Entebbe Wakiso district. However, the accused did not take plea, since this court has no jurisdiction to handle this matter.
Joffrey on the 25th day of January 2022 at Simbwa Kabawa Zone Rubaga Division in the Kampala district with malice aforethought you unlawfully killed Tuliasingura Patrick. Yes, still this court has no jurisdiction to entertain this matter. You will not be allowed to plead to this charge.
Prosecution Lydia Nakato informed court that inquiries in the matter are still ongoing.
But it's just because the case is still in court. But I know very well that I'm an everyday person. I have no problems and I have no case in this. But we will see on Saturday as the whatever has told us, the judge has told us, and we see where we'll end up.
Joffrey Doku was a security guard at Charisito Mwine's home, a businessman in Simbwa Zone, Kabowa, where the murder was committed. Court resumed on 3rd March 2022 for mention, and Joffrey Doku was remanded to Chitaria Government Prison. Prosecution alleges that on 16th December 2021 in Simbwa village, Doku also allegedly killed Tuliasingura Patrick. The deceased bodies were allegedly retrieved in a septic tank at Charis Tumwine's home. Before the arrest of Joffrey Doku, his boss Charis Tumwine and his wife Naume Tumwine and Nomani Muhanje, family member, were arrested but later released on police bond. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
In our business stories, the school administrators in public and private primary schools in PG District applaud Korean Federation of Community Credit Cooperatives (KFCC) initiative for promoting a culture of savings and investments among pupils. According to Uganda Gumgo coordinator, Andrew Chepa, the formation of more Gumgo Younger Savers group provides primary school pupils with real financial literacy skills. Details follow. With support from Korean Federation of Community Credit Cooperatives (KFCC), the establishment of Mogemgo Young Savers Group among primary schools in Impiji is fostering applied financial literacy skilling to students. in primary schools including St. Teresa and Bishop George Sinavlia primary schools in PG, where the project has been piloted. The pupils have embraced the gist of saving and investment with the lesser money given by their parents. They have different aspirations.
I save money because I want to buy a kid for rearing. I'm saving for a big mattress. I want to buy a new bicycle.
I'm saving to buy a sportswear.
I want to buy the egg-laying eggs.
Saving for the school fees of being a doctor.
Hensong Park, the project manager establishment of Model Villages in Uganda, ESMV, who officiated at the handover, saves materials.
Saving is culture. Even small amount of money, if they start saving small amount, actually can return many things for their future. In South Korea history, saving culture actually contributes a lot for the social transformation as well as economic development, and we hope also can be happen here in Uganda.
The school's managers appreciated the South Korean saving model, saying that children have developed financial discipline and have lessened problems parents face while providing school requirements.
This has brought a very big impact for my learners. I've learned how to save. They are very happy with their gifts and they are saving.
All my teachers have to save with DMG. I encourage them to make their children know what saving is.
I would like to encourage parents to assist their learners, their children, by giving them money to bring them and save, as well as encouraging them also to have their own goals.
Uganda Samuel Gemgo coordinators observed that the model is changing the mindset of the young generation.
All Gumgo savings clubs in primary schools in order to inculcate a culture of saving among the children. This will enable them to start their income generating activities.
We are also planning to prepare for the children who are leaving primary school to secondary schools, so that when they go to the secondary schools, they will also find a younger savers club to continue with their savings culture.
The establishment of MG Young Savers groups has been piloted in 4 primary schools, and an economist has observed that government needs to integrate practical financial literacy lessons among learners from lower learning institutions for future sustainable growth. The Anti-Counterfeit Network wants legislators to amend the Trademark Act to accommodate the definition of counterfeit products. The Corporate Affairs Network, Fred Mwema, while engaging members of Parliament of the Committee of ICT, said that the increasing exploitation of Ugandans by unscrupulous investors should be managed.
Stakeholders in the campaign against counterfeit believe current legislations may not help in the campaign against counterfeit. Among the legislations under contention is the Trademark Act.
But also increase the punishment, because 2 or 3 years punishment for somebody who is faking a product like electronics, which can cause cancer, blood cancer and all those things, is not sufficient.
The complication in defining counterfeit poses a challenge for economic players to distinguish genuine and fake products on the market.
Part of the reason we have the prevalence of counterfeits in Uganda is because the laws are not very clear. But even with the existing laws which stop the infringement, we think that it will be good, for example, to amend the Trademark Act and include a definition there of counterfeiting specifically.
The unguided e-waste are proving hazardous to the public. The Anti-Counterfeit Network recommends proper disposal arrangement for outdated electronics.
We do not have any implementation in this country on how to dispose of the electronics that we use, the TVs, the computers, the phones, after they have come to their end of life. We do not have. Everybody just destroys the used or dead equipment or accessory in the water, in the soil, and this is harming the environment. However, there is an international law that requires that every manufacturer of an electronic equipment must make provision for the disposal and recovery and collection of the used equipment once it has come to its end of life. So,
legislators of the Parliamentary Committee on ICT have pledged support and proper guidance in fighting counterfeit products on Ugandan market.
We commit to Parliament, that's our responsibility, and we will ensure the cause to make sure that Ugandans have a good and safe and secure environment for their health, for their development and value for money. So the challenge is that people who are doing illicit and illegal activities are actually end up even paying the taxes and are protected by the law. So we believe that the people who are supposed to be doing this shouldn't be doing it at all.
It should be noted that many of counterfeit peddlers are obedient taxpayers, and this compromises the fight against fake products on the Ugandan market. Abdul Nasser Lubwama, UBC News.
From the international scene, the first vaccine technology transfer hub in Africa has been launched in Kenya, Tunisia, South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt and Senegal to start with production of vaccines. The announcement was made by the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, at a press conference held at the sidelines of the 6th EU-AU Heads of State and Ministers Summit in Brussels. Adgaba reports.
It's over 2 years ever since the pandemic began spreading all over the world, and the host been mouth for safe and saving vaccines against the virus, and more than 10 billion doses have been administered globally, and billions of people are yet to benefit from the life-saving tools. Currently, over 116 countries are off the track target of vaccinating 70% of their population mid this year, and more than 80% of the African population is yet to receive a single dose. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa noted that quality control is key in Africa manufacturing processes to ensure the standard operating procedures for the vaccines meet international regulatory standards. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said the EU is considering the partnership as a step forward to fight the pandemic, but also as a step for Africa's sovereignty when it comes to the vaccines. France President Emmanuel Macron pledged that France will be contributing 20 million euros towards the development of the technology hub for the MRAN for the African countries. The MRAN Vaccine Technology Transfer Hub is a global initiative aiming to empower low and middle-income countries to allow them make their own vaccines. Report compiled by Zara Argaba in Brussels.
Well, always make sure you do enough research to put anything in your body. Moving on from that, European and African leaders have stormed Brussels, where they're attending the 6th EU-African Union Summit. These leaders from two continents are expected to underline that we depend on each other, according to a statement issued by a coalition of liberal, reformist and progressive members of parliament from across Europe. Take a look.
The summit will address, among other issues, how Europe and Africa can advance as equals with partnerships to meet the global challenges and the shared goals of today and tomorrow. The coalition also notes that in times of a global health crisis, solidarity between people and countries has become central to global cooperation. The coalition will also deliberate on how to promote better access to health care and, most notably, a better and fairer access to vaccines in Africa. Currently, only 11% of the African population is fully vaccinated, compared to 18.4% of Europeans. The EU at the summit will commit to continue its efforts to vaccinate the world by sharing and donating vaccines with logistical support to Africa that needs it, by strengthening the COVAX program, supporting local manufacturing of vaccines, investing in pandemic preparedness in the continent, and continuing to show solidarity. A renewed EU-Africa partnership is key at the summit to pave the way for the African Union and the European Union Green Pact to foster tighter cooperation and investment.
The 2022 Laika Mobile Uganda International Master Non-Chess Championship has started. It's hosted at Macnon Suits in Kampala and is a reserve for the top 10 players on the continent. Enjoy.
As part of its Golden Jubilee celebration, a Uganda Chess Federation won the right to host the 2022 International Master Non-Chess Championship. The championship has brought together 10 of the continent's best players, including 5 locals. The local cast has Arthur Segwanyi, Harold Wanyama, Matthias Sonko, and Haruna Nsubuga. Patrick Kauma, who is primed to gain international master status if he gets 7 points, completes the local team.
This event puts Uganda Chess Federation, puts the continent, raises the flag, and we are saying that the whole world is watching. A NOM event winner becomes an international master at this level. If it was a GM NOM event, the winner becomes a grandmaster. Of course, that is subject to the rating performance.
The foreign team is led by Egyptian Grandmaster Fauzi Adam, International Master Bwalia Gilan from Zambia, and the South Sudan trio of Mabwa Anyuait, Gong Thon Gong, and Peter Major. This championship is running side by side the Uganda Open, which has attracted players from 8 other countries, including Scotland.
For starters, Uganda has a number of just world-class players, so it's very good to be in their company. I live in Kigali at the moment, and 2 years ago I played in the Rwanda National Open, where a number of very, very talented Ugandan players came down and joined the tournament, and they did very well. So, in a sense, I came up to try and get some revenge, but it's just a pleasure to play with players of this caliber, and we'll see how the tournament goes.
Chess has been in existence for about 50 years and has been embraced by many, including a FIDE master, Dr. Engineer Andrew Neimanye, who speaks volumes about it.
We are celebrating our 50 years as Uganda Chess Federation, and this tournament with a Grandmaster in place, as well participating and 7 international masters and the various 4 federations. It's putting chess at a higher level, and all I can do is to encourage the youngsters to take up this game of chess, and also the schools and should be quite critical in encouraging their students to learn chess, because chess is very, very, very important. In my opinion, it's been better than mathematics. It does give you very, very useful skills, thinking skills, critical thinking, problem solving. Actually, chess is literally food for the brain.
He, however, decries a low funding, which he implores government through National Council of Sports to address. This session of chess festivities will climax next week with the International Chess Federation Planning and Development Commission meeting in Kampala. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Uganda Life Saving Association Uganda President George William Mukasa is in Egypt for the 2nd African Life Saving Workshop that climaxes on Sunday. It's been attended by 14 of 24 members on the continent and will play a big role for the nation.
I'm in Alexandria, Egypt, to attend the 2nd African Conference on Drowning Prevention and the championships that are started today. We have had several games with over 14 countries from Africa, which have been able to come together and attend for the 2nd time for Africa. We've been able to do this as Uganda for the first time. We've never been at the championships, but we've come in, attended the conference, got to know what Africa is doing to save people from drowning, at the same time to do the championship, to put the skills down to the people, especially for schools and through the ministries and the governments to ensure that there's no drowning in their nations. So it's a beginning for us as Uganda. We hope we shall have more schools engaged in swimming, life saving, and the championship games to ensure that we pass on the skills.
It is 1 minute past 11 p.m. Thank you so much for keeping on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda, and thank you for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Kyomugisha, and Mugalu Muhammad on Sign Language. Do join us again tomorrow, same time. Have a lovely night and be blessed.
Him have the instant rat killer. It's up the body, grab the body, take the body, run the house.
Christmas a come and we want the money flow. Christmas a come and we want the money, but it now flow. It now flow. Me want know how with the money tree them grow. Cause some a sell clean and some a sell star. Some a up a shop and some a run a little bar. Koji with the bike and some a juggle from them car.
From the blues to the streets of Africa, DJ Santos. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at DJ Santos 256.
Farmer man a read the crap no matter how it's small. Give thanks for health and strength life overall. Me have me girlfriend, me have to go and bounce spanner. She take care of the pitney, even the ones we are no fear. Me always hustling in the street, me inna the road just like the tar. Hustle for the food cause everybody have to pan. So Christmas a come and we want the money flow. Christmas a come and we want the money, but it now flow. It now flow. Me want know how with the money tree them grow. So me left for Europe and go to Ethiopia. Still I see birthplace in Addis Ababa. In a Sierra Leone them say them have Ebola. Then me left and take a plane and come back to Jamaica. But what this me you said don't you have the chicken gun, yeah. That's why me no like flyer, me no like mosquito. Me no like nothing where you pitch boy, yeah. You yeah, me no baby.
Oh na 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 na, baby, oh na na na. Just one touch, one kiss from your lips, it's heaven, yeah. Loving you is like the perfect love song, you know the
it's
one
the freak himself, DJ Santos 256.
Going on wrong, seeing you is like the song in my ear. So all I need is you, baby. Body to body with only you, baby. I don't need another, 'cause baby what we got, we got a perfect love song. I just the way you look on me when you see me, and the way you put it on me when you give me. I saw me love when the fire blaze, you see me. Now I'm gonna see me roam round like I'm a gypsy. You're like a piece to a pot, queen to a king, bullet to a gun. What they got in common is they all belong together. And it made me realize that loving you is like the perfect love song. You know the one that you always wanna hear. And when my day's going on wrong, seeing you is like the song in my ear. So all I need is you, baby. Body to body with only you, baby. And I don't need another, 'cause baby what we got, we got a perfect love song. You got me overjoyed with the love that you're giving to me. I make you ask for nothing